Award-winning filmmaker Pascal Amanfo is set to release his latest film titled Crossing Paths this June 28th. It is said to be a story that resonates with real-life struggles. And also, Idris Elba spoke at the South by Southwest London event. He unveiled more about his vision and dream for a cinematic Africa. All these stories and more right here on the Film Mandate on YouTube. My name is Papa Otu. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Film Mandate, where I bring to you movie reviews, news, and reactions both from the African front and the international scene. Thank you for joining me for this very episode, episode 55. And also, so we'll be delving right into the heart of the stories today. And for our very first story, we have award winning director Pascal Amanfo, who is very prolific when it comes to making films. And his films has helped establish so many careers, both for actors and crews alike. So Pascal Amanfo's film, this article is actually published on the Ghana web, and the story reads that Crossing Paths is a story that resonates with real life struggles. Pascal Amanfo ahead of June 28th premium. So I read, award-winning Ghanaian filmmaker Pascal Amanfo says his latest film, Crossing Paths, reflects the realities of everyday people navigating love, faith, and personal challenges. This film is about love meeting people where they are, broken, hopeful, afraid, or simply waiting. Amanfo said, "We wanted to tell a story that resonates with real life struggles while reminding people that faith and connection still matter." Set to premiere on Friday, June 28th at Silverbird Cinemas at both the Accra Mall and the West Hills Mall. Crossing Paths is a Christian romantic drama that follows the emotional journeys of three couples who find love through unexpected encounters. Produced by Charlene Quay under Diamond Pillar Production, the film stars veteran actress Irene Opari, Rosalind Ingiza, Jessica Williams, and Peter Ritchie. The cast also includes Joyce Amamenu, and then Edwin Agbeli Jr., Bella Ajiman, Omari Dramina, Don K. Kingsley Yamwa, and Charlene Quay. The plot centers on Glory, a successful career woman who forms a bond with Mams, a healthy worker she meets by chance, Blessing, a young mother raising a child with a disability after being abandoned, and Jake, a single father still recovering from a divorce, who meets Saskia, an interior designer, through a home makeover contest. Though through these parallel storylines, Crossing Paths explores themes of resilience, healing, and the transformative power of love. The film also draws on Christian values, with this message underscored by the biblical verse, "In His time, He makes all things beautiful." The upcoming premiere is expected to draw attention from audiences interested in faith-based films, as well as fans of Ghanaian cinema. So there you have it. That is Pascal Amanfo with his June 28th release. There in your shot, that is him in the picture. That is him in the picture. So Pascal Amanfo is really a prominent filmmaker in both the countries of Ghana and Nigeria, and he's produced so many film from starring big names that you've heard, particularly in Ghana and Nigeria and across Africa. So for this film that he's about to release, indeed, it is quite a powerful film. Looking at its background, that he's not just a filmmaker, but he's really a devout Christian, and I like the idea that he's making a film that resonates with his faith in particular, and also that dwells on relationship. A little bit of this film actually reminds me of Tyler Perry's Why Did I Get Married? It's not the same plot, not the same story at all, but the fact that it involves several couples, and the film would sort of unveil the struggles they are going through, and perhaps how they come about resolving issues with regards to their relationships, and if some are married, also in that vein. But at the end of the day, it's a relationship across board, whether married or unmarried, and these are challenges that a lot of Christians face, not just Christians, but all relationships face these things. But with this film itself, focusing on a faith-based, on a faith-based story, it means that it opens up the opportunity for Christians to also, sort of come to terms with some of the challenges they are often. I'm sure this film in itself, Crossing Paths, would be a story that offers um, an introspection. I mean, that gives people to sort of reflect on their own lives, by having an introspection as to the challenges they are going through in their relationships, regardless of which background they are from. So it is indeed a commendable film that he is making, because a lot of the films that we produce here, even though it is more reflect, even though it delves on relationships and different aspect of life, none, I believe, has this particular direction that he is set to produce or set to release in come June 28. So it is indeed a laudable ideas. And looking at the fact that the faith-based market or the religious market has barely been scratched in this country, even in the world over, because you have a lot of films that are produced for the mainstream in general, but not much is done for the faith-based, would I say, section of the cinema-going audience, or the film-loving audience. And this in particular, you realize that a lot of films, if given that opportunity to go in that area, would make much impact. You have films like The War Room, produced in the US, and The Fireproof, and so many others that delves into the faith-based demographics, so to speak. And also, I mean, we can speak of the film that Mel Gibson made, Passion of the Christ, which made so much impact both faith-wise, and had a lot of church-going folks, or even not believers in general, going to really watch it and experience such an impactful story by Jesus, I mean, of Jesus Christ, how he was crucified and then resurrected. There are even talks that sooner he would also be coming up with a sequel. That is, Mel Gibson will be coming up with a sequel. So indeed, it is commendable for Pascal Amanfo to make a film based on, I mean, with the direction, with the faith-based theme, if I may put it that way. And indeed, it is something perhaps welcoming for this era, looking at some of the challenges a lot of relationships are maybe going through or are going through. So indeed, Pascal Manfo, he himself actually is not just a devout Christian. I think he is actually also a pastor. I'm not so sure about that, but he is a man of God that actually um, share the word of God on regularly on several platforms when he gets the opportunity to. So indeed, it is commendable that he is bringing to bear in his craft his faith, and for a lot of us Ghanaians, we are also, religious in a way, and it is an opportunity to have a film that either represents our faith or speaks to the issues that on a daily basis a lot of people experience. So it is indeed commendable. And just because this is the first time I'm talking about what he has done, I thought I may share a little bit of his filmography on, yeah, a little bit of his filmography because he's such a prolific filmmaker. So on the Wikipedia page, Pascal Amanfo films have been listed there, and you have from Sin City 2019, Bed of Roses 2011, Open Scandals 2010, Family Runs. We have Stalemate, that's which he produced, and also we have My Last Word in 2009, Corporate Made, Single and Married 2012, Wannabe 2012, Graveyard, and a whole list of other um, films that he has made. So he is indeed a prolific filmmaker that has been producing films for the past 2 decades, or making films for the past two decades. Not only is he a director, but he also writes as well. He also writes as well. So on June 28th, he will be releasing his film. I tried looking for a trailer online. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any. If as and when perhaps I find it, I would come and do a review of the or a reaction of the trailer. And yes, I think we should go and support our own. We should go come June 28th to watch the films in the cinemas and lend our support to our own filmmaker, Pascal Amanfo. So moving on from that, from one filmmaker to another, we go straight to a Hollywood article, and this time around of Idris Elba. Idris Elba. So Idris Elba is one of the main speakers at the London, the South by Southwest event that was held in London, and he spoke about a number of issues which cut across from his own personal life to what he's doing in Africa. So I read Idris Elba on his dyslexia, pardon me, on his African cinema vision, and doing a little bit of everything. The multi hyphenated encouraged the next generation of creators during a jam-packed South by Southwest London session called Creativity as Capital for Change. Young people don't realize how expensive their imaginations are, how valuable their imaginations are. So it is written by George Cizala. Yeah. So I read, it is about tackled the power of imagination during a conversation at the inaugural SXSW London on Wednesday, which took place at Truman Brewery in the British capital's um, Shoreditch neighborhood. The actor's experience with dyslexia has his development work in Africa and his vision to build out the theatrical circuits on the continent were among the various topics he touched on during a ranging discussion, which was dubbed Creativity as Capital for Change. The multi-hyphenate actor, musician, filmmaker, entrepreneur, philanthropist was interviewed by British radio broadcaster and TV host Clara Amfo in a session that easily drew the largest crowd of SXSW London so far, with the line snaking around the block. Joining the star on stage were several of his collaborators, including director Stefan Schwartz Luther. A preview of the Elba appearance on the South by Southwest London website promised that the star would explore how creative influence can challenge injustice and unlock new economic models. Elba shared that he too knows what's like to despair when watching the news these days. I think all of us have gone through a stage. We wake up, turn on the news, and it's despair after despair. It's bad news after bad news, he said. And what's driving me is the fact that I get to wake up and do something new every day. It's driving me that I get to do better than yesterday. He then explained the title of the session by taking a deeper look at the phrase money makes the world go round. That's to some degree very true, he declared. But in my head, it's my imagination that makes the world go round. So trying to get young people to understand that their capital, their wealth, their fortune is within themselves, within that creative tool set, and being able to articulate themselves. He then turned his attention to the next generation of creators by encouraging them to appreciate the power of their own creativity. Part of the reason why I do a little bit of everything and annoy everyone is because I just feel it's better that you illustrate to young people to just try it, just go through it, he concluded. Young people don't realize how expensive their imaginations are, how valuable their imaginations are when they share their ideas and they create stuff. In an emotional moment, Elba opened up about his dyslexia. I knew that I find reading scripts very difficult, actually absorbing the words he shared. I didn't know at the time that I am dyslexic. I it became a bit of hindrance for me. We are reading a lot of different scripts at the same time, especially through series. We are reading revisions all the time, and so Stefan and I bonded over this idea that he had. What if we could do it in a different way and help in an inclusive way? People with this dyslexia and any sort of neurodiversity to absorb scripts. So the two and others developed over the past several years the app Taking Scripts, which a description says allows users to hear scripts with realistic voices wherever you are, with only the parts you need, no headers or unwanted extras. Elsewhere, Elba founded the Akuma group to drive growth opportunities in Africa with a focus on such sectors as the creative industries, agriculture, and infrastructure, aiming to empower Africa's growth through innovation and impact. The Akuna wallet in Ghana, which according to the website empowers Ghanaian creators to get paid directly from anyone anywhere, is one key service that he would like to roll out more widely around the continent and world over time. And Elba shared a vision for making the traditional cinema experience more widely available in Africa. I want to build the African Odeon, he said. There's a crazy number across the entire continent. There's less than about 3,000 cinemas, actual cinemas that you and I have grown up with. I would love to be able to tackle some of that because I believe that the cinema experience that we all have gone through should be experienced by a new generation. Concluded Elba, how do I do that? I guess by building a model of data that shows that actually you do want to watch films and enjoy the experience of the theater. Earlier on Wednesday, South by Southwest London sessions featured Abbas Jean Uveos and Letitia Wright, among others. South by Southwest runs through June 7th. Penske Media, the parent company of the Hollywood Reporter, is the majority stakeholder of South by Southwest. Yeah, so this indeed is an inspiring story from Idris Elba, and it is indeed brave for him to share his personal struggles with learning disability or yeah, being able to absorb the script, and it's indeed powerful. It is really powerful. So the job that Idris Elba is doing across Africa or the world over is really amazing. For myself being a Ghanaian and having seen what is done, bringing or being part of a team that brings productions to Africa or Ghana in particular is really inspiring and motivating for us as Ghanaians. And for those who may not know, Idris Elba heritage comes from both Ghana and Senegal, and sorry, Sierra Leone, and he always keeps looking back to lend a helping hand to the industries in Ghana and I would say Africa as a whole, because he keeps doing so many things. And I like the fact that he, in his own personal struggles, he has tried, or he has found solution to help those who are going through the same challenge that he faces from time to time. So it is indeed an inspiring uh, I would say session that he offered at the South by Southwest London to unveil a number of his solutions. So for those who are going through the challenge of learning, I think taking pictures, if I'm not mistaken, taking scripts. Sorry, taking scripts. It's a platform that you can go and also learn. That is, if you have a challenge of what would I say, being able to absorb your script or dialogue or your sites, you can upload it there, and there are voices that would, you know, help you. I mean, it's more like it reads aloud the script for your understanding, and even varies the voices to help you imagine that you are in the situation of the set itself. So it is indeed a powerful thing, and also this data revealed how scanty a number of cinemas we have in Africa. The entire continent of Africa, which happens to be the second largest in the world, or the second most populous continent in the world, only has 3,000 cinemas sprawled across the continent. So, indeed, it is no surprise that a lot of Africans really don't have the cinema going culture, or don't even I mean, for a number of people living in certain areas of the continent, it stands to reason that possibly there's not even a single cinema in an entire district or space. So it will not be of a surprise when people of African descent, especially on the continent, do not have a cinema going culture. And I like what he said, that for what they have experienced in that side of the world, that is in UK, Europe, and the America, who perhaps a lot of cinemas abound, they may they may take for granted the opportunities they have that perhaps that most of us actually do not have on this continent, the cinema going culture, because it is indeed an experience like no other. I mean, you would enjoy your films on the tablets or TV screens at home, but the camaraderie that you feel, especially with someone in the seat by you, you may not know them, but enjoying it together feels like being at a sporting event where you are cheering on a team. So indeed, I like the initiative he's taking with this group, Akuna group, to bring about such a change in Africa. And not just that, for those who heard earlier on this year, Idris Elba has begun the project in building an ultra modern studio, Hollywood studio or soundstage in Ghana. And it is indeed something inspiring, because for us filmmakers, especially in this part of the world, that sometimes finding the funding to build to do a project, and seeing sometimes how bleak the industry can be, it is indeed inspiring for us to have someone to think about us and wanting to support us Africans on the continent. So indeed, we are happy and proud of him for what he's been doing in Ghana and all across Africa. And it is something that we are hoping that he will get all the support that is needed to not just start in Ghana, just as he said, but spread it across Africa. Spread it across Africa. Africa has so many stories to tell, but unfortunately, sometimes we do not have the platform or the opportunity with regards to resources to make that possible. So he is one that is trying to pull all the necessary resources to ensure that we get that done in this part of the world. So kudos to Akuna Group and I mean Idris Elba for doing more for Africa than perhaps any other filmmaker might have done in their lifetime. And we are indeed privileged to have him doing that for us, doing that for us. So yeah, we'll be unveiling more when he keeps doing more projects. We'll be talking about it more on this very platform, so that all of us can enjoy or get to know or be updated on what he is doing, on what he's doing. So this wraps up my two stories for today's episode. And then today being uh, a Friday, I'd like to take the opportunity to wish all my Muslim brothers is it, I don't know, Barikade Sanla. Yeah, so I like to take the opportunity. Today is a holiday, I'm sure across the whole world, but in particular in Ghana, they are having their festivities. So I like to wish them Barikade Sanla. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So moving on, today being a weekend, particularly, and there's also a holiday, I know a lot of you will be trooping into the cinemas to watch a film or two. So I'm not leaving you out. I'll starting with the Silverbird website, particularly Accra Mall and I'm sure West Hills Mall. We'll take a look at the films that are releasing this very weekend. And starting from today, Ballerina, that is the film title from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, is premiering worldwide today. It did premiere in Hollywood or LA, and it received very rave reviews. And so, if you are in for an action flick from the world of John Wick, and you know, don't be disheartened because John Wick himself appears in this story, not as the main character though, but he appears in it. So this stars Anna de Armas, and I learned her performance is so riveting. So you have John from the world of John Wick, Ballerina. Also from Nollywood, we have Red Circle. Red Circle, which is a drama, also opening today as well. So there are different flavors, whether from the continent of Africa and beyond. You have it all. And also, Karate Kid was released a week ago and is still in the cinemas, starring Jackie Chan himself. So you can go and take a look at that. And there are several films that released last week from Bro Code, also from Nollywood, and Guns Up, an action comedy as well. So you can go and check all out. What Do Men Really Want is also in the cinemas. And then Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning is also screening in or being exhibited in the cinema as well. As usual, Lilo and Stitch, a Disney production, a live adaptation of the animation, is still in the cinemas. You can go and take a look at it. And also, My Mother is a Witch is also a Nollywood drama that is still screening in the cinema. We have Final Destination and a whole lot others that you can go and take a look at if you fancy any of them. So yeah, Silverbird. I'll leave the link in the description below so that you can go and check out any film that you want to watch. Yeah, so let's move on to the international scene and see what is also happening. So we'll be moving on to the Rotten Tomatoes website and see what they have for us. So this week we have a number of films being released on the Rotten. I mean, being released in the cinemas, particularly in the North American and international scene. We have the UFC 316, Davish or Divishly, pardon me, the UFC fights between two warriors will be shown in the cinema on Saturday, that is June 7th. But also, Ballerina, just as I said, is being released worldwide on June 6th, that is today. So you can go and check it out. And the ratings of the various films are displayed on there to know whether you are up for it yet or you want to wait till it comes on streaming. But let's go to the cinema and support it as well. And Wes Anderson's film, The Phoenician Scheme, starring Benicio del Toro, is also in the cinema as well. You can go and check it out. It's been released today. And then moving on, we have Dangerous Animals as well. A masterpiece, Magical, The Life of Chuck is also being released. And then we have The Ritual, which has a 0% uh, critic rating. I actually don't have an idea what that means. I know, yeah, it means that it's a bad score, but how many people have reviewed this and is it that they all disliked it that bad? Well, I guess you can find out when you go to the cinema. And also we have the Demented. I don't understand you. It's also been released today. And we have Echo Valley, Barron's Cove, The Gardener, and a whole lot others that are also being released today. So I will leave the link as well in the description so that I can go to the Rotten Tomatoes website and look out for more films that you might be interested in. So that's all for that's all that's all that I have for you for today's episode of the Film Mandate. I hope you enjoyed, spending the time with me, and thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you for spending the time with me to, help a brother out in his venture or his venture and journey of the film and of a film pundit. And if you love films, I thank you so much because you sort of inspire me to want to share what I have. Because if I share what I have and there's no one to watch it, hey, what's the use? But thank you so much for being on this journey with me. 35 episodes in the making. And I'll be coming your way again on Monday with more exciting news over the weekend and more. So thank you so much once again, and I'll see you soon come Monday. I'm Papa Otu, and this is the Film Mandate.